Ciao.
Oh, nice. Well, we've got a blue box around our face.
It's only on there.
Oh, okay, nice. Hello, guys. So, if you haven't been into the stream before or seen me or Sam, I'm Aaron. This is Sam, assistant designers on fishing. Today we're going to be playing single player tournaments, sticklebacks. Yeah, sorry, we're going to be playing single player tournaments, have a bit of a friendly competition.
It's 3-0.
Yeah,
Still works.
I'm pretty comfortable. What should we do? Should we do a bass tournament? Or do...
Some bass. Hi, David.
Hey guys, let's get the show on the road. I don't want to do a no.
We can't do a 2v2 yet. Unfortunately, Stephen's gone on holiday. He's the man who's in the process of setting up this 2v2, but we're definitely up for it. Yeah, we're a bit of a designer bearded duo. So I had a little trimmer.
Mine's a bit lacking on the trim. Mine used to be a lot bigger than this, you know.
Yeah, yours used to be hench.
Pretty impressive back in the day. Got a lot of homeless comments.
Hi, Stuart.
Let's do Del Mundo.
Yeah. Welcome to this week's stream. We're going to bass it up.
Let's just stick this last cap you. It's taking away my hard-earned cheddar.
Be worth it for that sweet, sweet pound. Eric Hicks is saying hello from Midwest USA.
Hi Eric and the rest of the USA. Caroline Gibbs won a t-shirt and hasn't got it yet. We'll chase that out for you, Caroline.
we'll
Sorry
get
about that.
soon. I thought they were hoping to give you that shirt at the big one.
Oh yeah. Did you end up going down to the show last weekend? Or the weekend just gone? Getting confused with my dates already.
Hashtag heels. You never know. You want it. Get people pumped for it.
Aye, aye, aye.
Final cast, are there any new maps coming?
We've always got a little something in
Always
the
good.
works.
We can't say when, but yeah, there's stuff on the horizon in form of maps. Ooh, look at that one. She serves up there. No worries about that. Said Stephen's away this week, but I told someone else who might.
We've got other two guys. We'll talk to Darren and Mark. That would be
So
the best
OP as Stephen is, he's not the only carry in this organisation. Almost says hello from Chicago. Thank you very much. We appreciate the kind words. It takes a lot of hard work for people to get that sort of appreciation. Always nice to hear. Oh, you've got a fat cluster.
What have I got? Super deep gold. Oh, it's all the gold.
All the gold pieces. It's got an OG gold. I should have named that.
Go for the little frog up.
Going for the top one. To give it to our art team though, they do seem to smash it every time for the environment effect.
Yeah, got all the research done and
Another lot of unsung heroes. It's like visually see it, but I don't know if people will appreciate how many people and the time that they put into building it. One sec, can you press start? Go to the options. Settings.
oh, sorry, yeah.
And turn the game audio down.
It's there.
Keep going. A bit above half. A little bit more. You go with that.
Yeah.
We'll try that, and I'll.
How's that sound, guys?
You want me to hear it? You pause.
Oh, what? No, what? I'm only paused in the game.
Yeah, the game audio won't. There we go.
Oh, of course, I see what you're saying.
Thank you, Scooby Hayes. I'm hoping that's better. If not, we'll crank it down some more. Hi, Richard Jones. Binary Car watched the last stream and heard Barbel are coming soon. What map will they be on? I think they're pretty much done. But again, that's something I can't divulge of what lake. Presuming that like they're only going to go into one. You have to wait and see. But yes, they are definitely like very long down the line of development. So the snapping line issue we are aware of, and we haven't got a confirmed date yet of when the fix is going to go in, but it is being worked on. It mainly comes down to with consoles we have to go through certification, so it isn't something, even though if we have the fix ready, we can't just push a button and instantly push it live. I can give you some tips to try and like soften it a bit. So if you're going for something, obviously, let's say 100 pounds and above catfish is going to have a lot more energy compared to any other fish in the lake. So make sure you're taking the heaviest line that you can to put as much pressure on it as you can. Also that, use the longest rod that you can, so 13 foot the longest?
Yeah, 13 foot's the longest we've got in game at the moment.
While you're trying to really pump the line, because that way you're putting more pressure on it to try and pull it in the direction you want. And raise your drag. It's the only things we can really suggest at this time. There is a cheeky way, I know you can't do it if you're on land though, because you'll be using a peg, but if you're in a boat, you can use the trolling motor to go towards the fish. Sorry, I'm losing my lines. Where are we up to? So yeah, same thing really about the 200 plus yards. It's the same issue, unfortunately. We haven't got a date as of yet if it's going to be hot fixed or in the next update. It's something we have currently ongoing.
What'd
you get?
I don't know.
Oh.
Can't bother to check, so I've got nothing for
Didn't
it.
count.
If you want bass.
So the netting issue, we have been looking into, and the only way you can really reduce it is by standing closer to the water. It's an annoying collision issue, pretty much where part of the environment can in a sense stop the fish once it's tied out being brought in. So that's something we are definitely looking into, and we hope to get to you as soon as we can. But we're not still sure yet of a set date as of when that's going to be. But we apologise for the issues. It's annoying when they come up.
100%. If you fix one bug, you make 3 more.
They are annoying.
Pretty sure I should be winning this tournament. It must be a bug.
Archie Rain, boo, do what I do. Only catch small fish, no line snap. I guess that is a legit strategy, but everyone wants that big game. And we want you to be able to catch big fish.
This definitely isn't a bass, is it?
No jumping, so doubtful.
I think it's just the length of the fight gives it away more than...
Eric Hughes, there's been some issues noted from Steam from like netting / casting glitches and lure sync memory. If you can point us in the direction of that, we'll have a look more into that. Chemical break. Used to love fishing when he was a Can we go back to it? We went fishing last year, and I hadn't been fishing in years before that, and yeah, still found I enjoyed it. Yeah, the boat does help with the snap issue, because the trolling motor will allow you to, if you need to, obviously, move in the direction you need to keep up the fish. No, it's not ideal, but...
These are just things that you can do to work around the issues for now, but yeah, don't worry, we're definitely looking into it.
It is something we are going to fix. It's not like a maybe, we're going to leave it.
Awesome. Ay.
Yeah, I can understand that. It's going to be like it being very disheartening for playing a fish for 12 minutes and then not being able to net it. David, and with the lag spikes just in multiplayer? And just on this lake? Because again, it's definitely something we can do some further investigation on. That's what we like with the links, thank you. We will check that out after the stream. Wish you could make it where you could use more than one rod on the boat. It's been discussed. So it's not something we've got like initially ready to go, but I think it's definitely something you can see in the future. Mark Haynes, every time I use a 13-foot rod, I either get line go for 255 yards, or I get the fish with the net symbol and head. Yeah, that's the issue we're still discussing. It's just unfortunate at the moment, other than doing to like soften the blow from what I've suggested. We will just have to wait until we get that fix in, unfortunately. Boo boo for RG Brains, do what I do and play on your own. You should be able to enjoy the game in both. We intend on multiplayer to be a fun social experience as well. Ryan's also had it out on a 9-foot rod. Yes, it's unfortunately an issue, which makes me sad.
That's cool. Like we say, we'll look into it.
It's coming. We're going to crush that bug. Evelyn took his daughter fishing over the weekend and she lost a carp. Caught free rope. Sad she lost the carp, but fair play to her. You caught a Xander when we weren't you?
Yeah.
Baby one, but I'm still a Xander. Scooby Hayes live baits. We're looking into that, aren't we?
Looking into what, sorry?
Live baits.
Yeah.
Something we want. It's on the schedule is probably the best we could say.
Dead baits are probably the priority for us over out of the two, but you know, if we're looking at dead baits, then we're also looking at live baits as well. Solidly in the design phase at the moment. Sketching up ideas.
To the drawing board. The design board. Cameron Gibbs had no issue with it on Xbox One. That's good. Still a bit odd because PS4 is technically the more powerful out of the two, unless you're on Xbox Pro. Even I think that edges the Pro PS4 by a bit, but not by much.
I'm just not catching any bass, mate.
Oof. This might be my day.
Don't worry, then it'll be 3-1.
I'll take it. I need the one. Only Black made some suggestions in the forum this morning. We will get someone on that. More suggestions. Do the different fishing rods make any difference? Why would I buy a different rod? Yes, they do. So they have different bendiness settings. That's the best way I can put it in the game, how they do it in real life, and from where they bend. So depending on the size of the fish and the type of fish you're targeting, how rigid and how bendy a rod can affect the fish fight. So like a big bass, you want something bendy because it needs to be able to take that pressure. Troll motor is faster than the engine on... Yeah, it's not meant to be. That's another issue with the trolling motor, unfortunately. Again, on the fixed list. People laying out the spots, tiger nuts seem to be a favourite.
Come on.
The only Cobra says I love everything about FSW. The latest DLC is excellent. 10 out of 10. Thank you. I'd say it's actually one of the best bits about our job. Because it is a slightly creative role, and obviously we're bound by the restrictions of replicating the sport, but when it's appreciated like that, it means a lot, and it definitely gives me the drive to keep going and wanting to make the best thing we can. So I think that's probably the same for most of the people on the team, whether it's from an art, engineering or design perspective. So thank you. Any lures for just pike and muskie specifically? Not at the moment, but again, it's been discussed. Why isn't there any pegs around Playa del Gato? You guys expecting us to use boats only? At the moment, yes.
On where, sorry?
Playa del Gato, I'm probably butchering that pronunciation.
Bahia del Gato?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I don't know if that's an oversight or if that's intentional. Well, I'll check with the artist after this stream, and we'll have a little look into that for you guys. Is that something you want there? Then I'm guessing you want some pegs to be around that area. Come on, a bass? No? Okay. I'm wasting my time.
So, I think this is actually saying partly down we need to actually show in the UI. The rods do have a lightweight and different actions. We just don't actually have it displayed in text. So I think that's definitely something we need to change. Because I'm the person who actually had to put all that in. And they are based, if it's an official rod though, it is based on actually what it is.
Less than 5 minutes left. I have 0 pounds of bass.
So I might put a fat 0 and all, and then we have to do some sort of tiebreaker. David M would like to see some jig heads. Or jigs added. Yes. I'm with you on that. It's one of the things I have been poking Des about quite recently. Fingers crossed. As long as it fits in our schedule, it will happen. That's mainly the issue. Can we get a filter option in the catch summary to sort fish weight, length, species, etc.? Can't see why not. Definitely a good UI option. Western Sniper, what kind of fish can you catch? Lots. Bass, carp, catfish, roach, rudd, walleye, muskie, tiger muskie, bream, tench. bluegill. Lots.
Quite a lot of species.
And more to come.
Oh yeah, species is something we're always going to be adding to the game as well. Because there are just so many species to do, it's just, you know.
We need a pig around there. We'll look into that. Stuart Main, any future exclusives, or do we have to wait for Des to spill the beans? Unfortunately, yeah. If it's something we have to be careful of, mainly for the publishing team, that we can't divulge too much, because again, they might have a proper announcement plan, so I don't want to be stepping on anyone's toes by saying something or something that doesn't happen. So unfortunately, yes, Des is the... I was thinking, is he like, I guess, the conductor of the machine, really, isn't he? Like...
yeah, I guess so. Did I? No. I've caught one though, and it was a bit of a fatty, to be fair.
The game needs to recognise lures on the fall. Yeah, I'll agree with you on that, Eric. It's something we are looking into. It's a bit weird though that technically the game will, if a lure is moving when it's falling, a fish can still take it on the drop. We just don't have a, like, where the constant is to say it's on the drop, but a fish would take it. It can do it. But I think it's definitely something we need to make more clear.
See, this is the thing. I had loads of fish on the fish finder, but because the lake has species in as well that don't take lures, it makes it harder to know.
Oh, for the fish finder, because it's got a bit of both on there. Like fatty carp, will still trigger that.
Yeah.
Dried chalice is pretty important fishing information for weight and action of the rod. I'll agree. Yeah, for jigging you'd want to be able to do it on the drop. I tried to, did I forget pike? Maybe them caught one try. That's still. I don't know how people are like feeling towards this. It's probably this is the first time we've tried putting trophy fish or named fish into a lake this size, so it is going to be more difficult. You've got a lot more water area to cover. But you guys actually enjoying it? Because it's one thing we wanted to actually know, if you enjoyed the hunting experience in a bigger venue.
Yeah, I mean, we was trying out some things with the named fish on this lake, because we know it's such a big area. We tried to give some sort of clues in the descriptions for the fish. We did leave one without too much guidance for you guys to try and work out where it is, and we just wanted to know where the line is in terms of difficulty for trying to catch these named specimen fish.
How about adding when you have a bluegill or perch or pike or muskie attack it? It has been discussed. It's more actually down to a technical issue that it would require a lot of work to be able to do that, and at the moment it's not on our schedule to do it, but it has been discussed, so you never know, it could make an appearance. But we think it would be funny to be able to lure bigger fish in with a little fish. What'd you get?
Got £9 something,
£9?
but I forgot to check the catch summary at the end. It was over, I got over £9. It was one bass.
What?
I came like 20 seconds, passing the torch. That's pretty woeful. I can't pike over £20.
I'm gonna have a default. David M likes the name trophy fish.
Look, Sam's not. This is Sam's account, and he's not even using his own tackle box. I assume I use Sam's tackle box. I thought it'd be the best
That's it.
one.
It was the ruse.
Thought it'd be better than the default, but now I know.
Ruse, Joe.
Been baited.
Bamboozled. Hashtag Eels is becoming a...
Yeah, it's definitely trending. Heard it's in the top 3 tweets on Twitter EU.
Just right now I'm going to have to... Well, is that bad?
Okay, big timer. Yeah, no worries. I'll pass that feedback on to our art team, and we'll see if we can do something to get some extra pegs around there, make it a bit easier for you. Yeah, if it's a mixed lake, we want all of the area to be accessible by a peg. Really, I don't think it was ever the intent that we'd leave such a large area without pegs. I'm sure that we'll be able to slot some in there. Shouldn't be too much of a problem. How are you guys doing on the Dovetail League this week? Anyone competing top end stuff? No official updates on new fish species. They'll come as and when the marketing team decide now's the best time for us to say this safely and get a little bit of hype. One thing that's annoying is that you have to move different places to get some trophies. Yeah, with the trophy stuff, I know we've had a few people say they like it, but honestly, the more of you that say whether you do or don't like it, etc., 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 on these bass lakes, the more feedback we get, we can just try and iterate on it and make it better in the future for future lakes. But we've definitely got plans to do similar stuff in upcoming venues, and maybe even adding some to some existing lakes. If you're a completionist, it's probably going to annoy you. You are going to have to get all around the lake.
I don't think it's a bass though.
Scooby Hayes gets called a cheat in the league. Man, always blaming those hackers. You just lose a fish.
Yeah.
Well,
poor strike.
Sort of win by default, don't I?
Oh, I've got the dock.
Oh. Trying to catch lizards.
I'm trying to get under there. There we go.
Perfect strike this time.
On it. Don't think it's a bass though.
Tension's quite high.
Hmm. There's no jumping going on.
It's just taking it around in circles, doing 180s.
It's feisty, or whatever it is. Giving it some. Oh, it is a bass.
Took me ages to get bass.
Come on, I need this. I need the win.
Looking for his first
That's what I
dub.
mean.
That first chicken dinner.
It's breaking that zero, isn't it?
I already want a clean sheet. My hands are behind my back though. Can't do much more. The Carp Online tournaments on PS4 are crazy. People catching over £1,000. Good lord. We've got the tryhards out on the PS4.
Sweating it. £7,
Where is the carp tournament this week? Could you remaster St John's or Digger Lakes? Oh man, I'd love to see St John's back in the game. St John's was a nice venue. Iconic. Big plated. Whew.
Oh, yeah.
Whew, whew.
Loads of big plated.
That was actually one of the awesome things. So I went to a few of the shows with the guys on the marketing team and stuff, and everyone does actually look at it. They go, "Is that the big plated you got in there?" And it's like, yes, we actually have that.
Be the next hashtag. Bring back big plated.
Yeah, I was hoping that the moving around bit for getting the trophies would be nice. I was a bit worried about the size of the lakes with it, but yeah, I mean, it just helps encourage you to go to different areas of the lake, right? I mean, we've noticed that a lot of people tend to just stick around the areas where they first spawn in at, and I think that's just it's a shame because, you know, the artists are creating these huge lakes and they're putting detail in across this whole area, and not a lot of the lake is getting used by most people. So honestly, if you guys go on, I honestly really do recommend just trying to find a new spot on the lakes that you go to at the moment, and you might just find a new favourite spot. To be fair, you might find a new spot where you're going to catch loads of fish, or you might just find a nice little area. It just might add a bit more life into the game for you, if you know what I mean. New environment makes things feel a bit more fresh.
And that fan action going.
Fan in the hammer.
Mm.
So you've got 14 minutes to hopefully catch absolutely nothing.
I've got one £7-pounder.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You can't catch anything else. Otherwise, you're probably going to beat me.
It's not a tiny bass.
Getting some chain pickerels.
I don't want no chain pick. Would like another bite though. What?
No, we're safe.
Let's go.
See, yeah, sorry, going back to St John's as well, Digger Lakes was actually awesome as well, because that was actually really, in Eurovision, that was pretty different to other lakes, just because of the, how windy the paths are that you can fish in. It was quite an interesting area. Had some nice carp in there. Other waters on linear. We haven't got any lined up at the moment, but we don't. You know us, don't rule anything out. Yeah, if you're after a specific fish, if you're confident that you definitely had him on your line in that area, then, and you really want to add him to your collection, then yeah, stick around that area and fingers crossed you'll get him. Obviously, though, you are taking a gamble. Like, it's hard to say for sure that the fish you're seeing at the surface is the one that you're looking for. Biggest fish was £168 on this lake. Whew. Pulling a fatty catty.
Wasn't a bass.
You caught a £1. No, you got £1 4oz. You was on £7 before. Now you're on £8 4oz.
Oh yeah, little baby.
It was a little puppy. It's not impossible for us to remaster one.
Just manpower.
It does come down to manpower, yeah, for sure. A lot of work has to be done to bring those lakes back in line with the lighting settings and graphical settings that we're using in Fish and Sim World. I've actually floated the idea before, but yeah, it's something that we've spoke about maybe one day. I think I'm not 100% sure, but I think there would also be licensing stuff to talk about as well if it was a real world venue that we're bringing back to a new game. I'm not 100% sure on that, but So, Big Timer J, how long do we have to wait for the bugs to go? The fish going for 200 and then snapping in the netting. So, some of this stuff is more complicated than it might seem on the surface. You'd be quite surprised, but quite often the issues that we have like this often involve like our physics system and all sorts of other crazy stuff. Where if you change one thing, you're going to have a knock-on on something else, which is just going to create more issues. Like I said earlier, fix one bug and it just seems to create another 5 more. But yeah, I mean, our engineers are looking at that. We've got a whole lot of stuff that they're looking at, including minor bug fixes as well as like new features and new content for the game. I've got to stay tight-lipped at the moment, but when we do our next update, you know, we want it to be a very good one. We really want to keep the hype going for this and give you guys something to shout about. So hopefully, if you can be patient with us, hopefully it'll be worth it for you guys. I'm excited for what we've got coming up anyway, so I'm like really confident that you guys are going to be happy. The code's a mess. Oh mate, the code in everything's a mess. Doesn't matter what game you go on to, there's always going to be weird loopholes. I mean, it's just part of what happens when you have loads of people working together on one project and you've got one person working on one thing, one person working on another, and then it turns out that those things need to be interlinked. But yeah, we're always trying to improve it. We're always trying to make things cleaner. You know, me and Sam are designers. We're not fluent in code, but the engineers do a really good job for us as well, making things easier for us to try and set up in game using tools and systems that they've created that sort of simplify the actual code into layman's terms for us so that we can input data and values into their work. But yeah, all things considered, we're a pretty small team as well, so just always remember that. We're a pretty small team and always just trying to upgrade on what we've got. Otherwise, just design an entirely new game. Oh man, go back to the drawing board would be... I don't know how I feel about it, because I feel like we're only a year into this title. You know, I think we've still got more we can do on this. I think there's still improvements we can make to this. You know, on the other hand, it would be awesome just to start on a new game from scratch, just because that would be fun. There's told us there's going to be a big update out, but will the issues that we have now be sorted when the big update drops? Yeah. I would hope so. Yeah. I'm not sure how much he has and hasn't told you, but yeah, that's when I would hazard a guess at when these fixes will go in. See, I know that a lot of people see it as a DLC cash grab, but it's quite complicated with our company. We don't create DLC in a sense hoping that you're going to buy every single piece of DLC we ever make. We make DLC, and if you want that bit of DLC, you should, like, you know, by all means, you should always grab it. But, you know, if we look at our Trains model, we release a lot of content on the Trains games. And that's because if you're a fan of Trains, you can have so many different niche interests in that hobby. And we're kind of seeing it as going the same way with fishing. You know, there are people that prefer certain species or people that will fish in certain areas using certain techniques. So we try and make sure that the DLC caters to everyone, but we know that not everyone will buy every bit of DLC, if that makes sense. But, you know, we're trying to work on the core game as well, which is why we try and make sure that the updates are meaningful and we add in new things in all the time. You know, it'd be really easy for us to try and cram features out as being DLC instead of being core gameplay mechanics, but the way we see it is we want to separate the lakes as one thing and, you know, new gameplay features as just being part of the experience for the core players.
Still not caught another bass.
See, dovetail sea fishing. See, if we added sea fishing, I can't say for sure, but I'm pretty confident that that would be a new title. Yeah, this is the thing. So, like, going back to the drawing board, you know, that's all good and well as long as you're taking what you've learned from what you've previously done. I know we got a lot of stick for what we did on Eurofishing. Not a lot of stick for what we did on Eurofishing, but I know that people had their criticisms, which is why we try to fix some of that stuff going into this game. And I think anyone who's played Eurofishing and has played Fishing Sim World can see that the product we've got out at the moment is much more polished. And if we did do another title in the future, it would be an even more polished version of what we have now. You know, we're constantly iterating, the company's growing, and we try and make sure that the games grow with the scale of the company. The company's goals are very much to be the #1 simulation company, you know, and we're always going to try and do that, but we do have to do it within our own means. We can't go breaking the bank to try and cram a risky feature in or anything like that, you know. Thanks, Omni Black. Yeah, don't worry, guys. We're going to keep going with these updates. I know that we've been teasing this big update at you, but yeah, it will be coming. And there will be updates after that as well, for sure. We have no plans on leaving this space anytime soon. This is the thing, so with the player base, so Eric's saying it's difficult to cater to everyone, especially when most want the easy big catch experience, yet seasoned fishermen have big bucks to spend on a true simulator. See, this is a very big difficulty with, you know, the development of this fishing game in particular, to be fair, in that the player base is very split on how they want that game to feel. You know, you've summed it up perfectly. You have got people that want to just go in, they want to just catch some big fish, have some fish fights one after another, and just crank them out, net them, and then come off. And then you've got other people that, you know, they want a full simulation experience. They don't mind playing the waiting game, you know, being patient, using waterside techniques to spot fish and, you know, having a truly authentic experience. So trying to cater to both types of people is really a really hard thing to do, but you know, we're always trying to take steps to make sure that everyone's happy, always looking at the feedback, seeing if something's leaning too far one way or the other. Trout, surely trout will be coming soon. I say nothing. Most games $60 plus max plus DLC. I mean, yeah, I mean, I think the whole gaming industry is being pretty shook up at the moment, especially with a lot of free-to-play games coming out with cosmetic-only business models, and you know, everything's being shaken up at the moment. I think things will definitely standardise over the next few years in terms of what people should expect from how much a game costs and DLC and things like that. Fishing Sim Universe, Bosch. I'll pitch it. Pitch it to the CEO today.
You might win this, you know.
Sam, if I win, that's weak sauce, mate.
I haven't caught another bass. I think I've had another bite. I've only got 2.5 minutes left.
Darth Badger loved Eurofishing at FSW is a huge step up. Cheers, Darth Badger. We'll keep working on it. This is the thing, it is well satisfying for us as well. If we look at, I like the characters, for example, you know, I'm not going to tell you our characters are perfect now. They're far from like what we envision them, the final product being, I guess. So we know that there's work to do on those. But if you compare the characters we had in Eurofishing to when that launched to the characters we have now, like, it's such a drastic improvement. And then as well, if you launched up Eurofishing and went onto one of the lakes that we've ended up featuring in Fishing Sim World, again, you would see the difference night and day for sure. And it is satisfying for us to be able to look at before and after photos, and like for people that have been at the company for a longer time, it's really fun to see that how they've personally grown, if you know what I mean. Like, you can see that they've improved in their craft from 5 years ago when they was working on Eurofishing and what they're doing now.
One minute.
No need for a rant, Caroline. Take it easy though. Ice fishing add-on, not planned at the moment, Mike. Maybe one day. Eric Hicks, I believe a fishing simulator should teach players about fishing, encourage strategy and proper use of gear over random casting. See, that's actually another thing that I've spoke about quite a bit when we've been on the shows as well. Like, I've always... Obviously, it's hard to make things one-to-one, but I've always wanted our game to be something that you could show to your kids and get them to play, and then when you take them out fishing for the real deal, it would be nice if they'd actually learned something from the game that they can apply in real life, you know? I want people to be able to actually take away something educational from the experience. Actually, I'm not expecting anyone to be an absolute beast at this game and then go out and start slaying in real world fishing tournaments, but, you know.
£8. I'm not happy. Why can I not go along?
What happened? I can't believe you've lost.
Yeah.
Clean sheet.
Ah.
I'm actually pretty buzzing.
I'm not. I thought I had it. Like, I caught the first one fast, second one small, but all right.
This is what happens though when you bank on someone else's failure for your own success. So I actually feel so smug. We don't talk about Rapala here. Fired up Euro last week. You know what? I'm not going to lie to you. I haven't played Euro in a very long time.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I bet it would feel weird though. Yeah, for sure. I might actually just have a go a bit later, just to give myself that pat on the back again, like I was saying, like look at the nostalgia. Progress. Well, we've got like another 10 minutes left.
Yeah, I'll have a little move.
Yeah. Flex like Dylan.
So behaves about choosing depth for fish floats.
It's in
that we want.
Yeah. The first person view definitely needs some work. That's something we'd like to do. Out of curiosity, how many of you guys actually play in first person, or would you play in first person if it looked better?
I like the Megalodon picture.
We had some internal artwork that was really cool. They made it look like the Jaws poster. So you was on a boat and you could see Megalodon's fat head below the surface of the lake. But they made him huge. Let's go south ramp.
Old Dylan.
You must just feel so limited going back to Eurofishing. Like, you've got so many more toys in Fishing Sim World. Oh, you guys actually... So there would be a... There's at least 2 people there that want first person.
When's the sturgeon going? Somewhere on the horizon.
Vague and mysterious. I didn't realise there was such a demand for first person. We'll talk to marketing guys as well to try and get even more feedback, and then, you know, the more, again, it's one of those things where the more people that talk about wanting a feature, the more we push it up our own priority list.
£2 on Euro, I'll give your team a £200 head start.
I was going to Scoony Hayes is gonna spank her. I'm like just ready to have it handed to me. To be fair, I'm just gonna take it.
With me on your team at the moment, it's going to happen.
I can't really brag too much after today's performance. £9. I caught 1 bass.
I only caught 2, but that little tiddler like, cost me the game.
Caught 1 fatty. This is the thing.
Might
Quality
use
over
first
quantity.
person as well. First person makes it feel more real. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely
I get
more. What's the word?
I prefer first.
Immersive.
Same way if I'm doing anything mildly real life in video games, I prefer it, especially for like driving.
Yeah, if we worked on our first person mode, don't worry, it's not like we would remove third person. Like, it would be such a drastic shock for a lot of people, I think, if we just took that away. Again, it's one of those things where I think like even just playing in a different perspective, first or third person, can help just make the game feel fresh again.
See, Eric Hicks seems to be a decent fish AI system in this game, and I'm still looking for a guide online. So I can give you some tips. We base the fish AI on real fish. Ooh.
Aggressive.
For like preferred water temperature and depth. So if you do your research into where they actually like to go and then project that in the game, it should help you out.
We've seen Far Cry 5 fishing, yeah, it does look awesome. Their water's surprisingly really nice as well for a game that isn't based around fishing or water. It's mostly on land, but yeah, they got some awesome effects in there.
Mm.
A lot of species as well, actually, I think.
Yeah, regarding the customization stuff, it as simple as obviously it might look at the front end, it takes a lot of work. Make sure it's something they want to do, but in a sense of a schedule, what would you rather prefer? More fish to catch or a new hat? I know ideally everyone wants both, but
It's hard to do both, yeah, for sure. It's a priority thing again. Like, we would love to have more customization, but the customizations there is a bit of fun and just to help you guys add a bit more individuality
do you
to
like my
your
character
characters.
though?
Yeah, your guy's ready for the rave.
It's fresh.
I've told you this.
Did I give him blue shoes?
Oh,
Check he's got matching crepes
Surely.
to his glasses. What has he got?
No, he's got the blue shoes and the blue shades. When you got to go fishing at 5 AM, but the rave starts at 7. You get the top knot out.
Yeah, he's got to keep the hair out of his eyes while he's on the lake, you know.
He's had an absolute sesh. Now he's just come for a fish.
Maybe throw in a logo editor thing in the game. As awesome as that would be, a logo, or if you're talking like a layering system like Forza, would be a hench task.
I think we're ignoring throwing money. I'm so sorry, man. Scroll up, see what this guy's got to say.
So I've got control over you, I can't.
Oh, okay, yeah.
If you repeat it, I'll make sure.
Sorry, we didn't mean to ignore you. Sometimes I just get carried away, or well, I think we both do when we're talking about something.
Ask the 2 questions again for our money, and I've got my beady eye out for you now. Yes, no, Mike. I keep poking Des about it. I poked him on stream last week when he was doing it. Shades and hats at the same time. I haven't seen the style in WWE. But if it's a logo layering system, that's still not easy to do. Keeping my eye out for this question now. Can we slow down the rise of tension? It goes from 0 in a split second. That's fine. It's definitely something to look into. Fish fight, obviously being one of the main gameplay mechanics, is definitely something we want to look at. That does sum it up. We do try our best. But thank you. No, they should be scaled based on, like, you got little baby fish on there. No, the fish finder should scale. There is like a maximum size to it, but they should actually scale based on its size. Throw money. When will you be sorting out the big cat snapping off? And why does it seem like there is 100 8 to £15 carp for every 30 on a new lake? So we haven't got a size date for the snapping off issue. Again, I can give you the suggestions which we have to try and get around the issue at the moment, which is using your biggest line, biggest rod, pump the rod when to pull the fish in more of a distance, and raise your drag. But more of the issue is, because I know the fix has already been started looking at, I don't know the state of it at the moment, but if it is fixed, there's another process we need to do to get it. But it will be fixed, but we don't have a definitive date. So the other thing, 50. There's 100. Oh, so there is 100 carp between 8 and 15.
Wait, what was I?
Well, we base the weight curves just off like the amount of fish in the species and how they actually grow up. So we try and base that on realistic data. But if it's something that's that out of whack, it's something we could definitely look at.
What's that? Sorry, you're talking about the 108 to £15 carp,
yeah,
for every £30 plus.
Yeah. So that's just how it is.
It could be. I'll take it. Are you using all of the biggest equipment as well? So you're using the biggest hooks and the baits to match as well.
Can't do much with the drag when it hits 220 yards. No, I understand that. So no, because it's such a big fish and it exerts energy, is pretty much how the system kind of works. That it's pulled that much line and it still isn't giving up.
You're saying you're having that on every lake that you're going on at the moment? Throwing money?
It's because I looked at it under that pressure.
I don't know why, I just had a lapse of concentration.
Get your finger out and solve the problems on a new lake. We are. It's a delicate process, is probably the best way I could describe it. That you can't just poke one thing and just kick it out the door, that you have to then check other things based around it. So there's other issues. We understand it's not ideal, but we also then don't want to try and fix it and make something worse.
We are coming up to the end of the stream though, guys, so if you've got any last questions, feel free to fire those out quickly so we can try and get the answers out to you. Throw money, so you're saying it's just the new lake that you have that on, so yeah, we'll just keep an eye on it and we'll try and find out if more people are feeling the same way. I didn't realise, it might just be that, yeah, we've just set the weights of the fish based on what we would expect them to be for the venue in the region that it's in. But yeah, if something doesn't feel right, we'll just have to adjust those numbers a bit.
Maybe a little tweak. So it's actually us who does those waiting things. It's something we can address.
Sorry, Scooby. Yeah, we promise. Honestly, we are 100%. It's a top priority issue for us. These bugs, and you know what? And Stephen's on holiday at the moment. But he wanted us to actually make a point of talking about this stuff anyway. So the fact that you guys started talking about it first just made it easier for us to tell you what we needed to tell you.
Bigger reels. Just throw all the reels out. Yeah, there's a few ways you can look, because like I was saying, there's a lot of different systems you can play when it comes around to hooking a fish, let alone then trying to pull on it. So there's a lot of aspects. It's hard, it's not. A lot of aspects we could look at to tweak that, and it is going to happen.
I'm gonna catch one more fish.
Not being an engineer, I don't have the ins and outs of how that fix is going to go down, but it is coming. Just bigger everything. Just double the size of everything. With dynamic settings, will there ever be rain? Like dynamic weather. Maybe it's with that sort of thing. I do imagine it will come down to a performance, but. Jumping in. Richard Jones, what was your last comment? Because I'm going to feel like if it's gone past, there's a lot of comments coming up on the screen. Ducks. I would like more wildlife in our game.
Again, it becomes one of those. It becomes one of those things where it's like, do you prioritise the wildlife or another fish species? And we just always end up picking up fish species over adding anything else.
No, Davis.
Adding guns for the battle royale mode.
No.
Oh. Okay.
Family friendly game. There'll be no fish maiming in this world. Swigging my beverage.
No, he's mugging it. I'm just playing casually. I've already won the competition today. 4-0 to me over Sam. Whoosh. Perfect strike. I was scratching my nose.
For a big winch. When you hook a big one. Like the Meg. So.
Oh, there's so much line tension.
Ducks and guns. Ducks maybe, not guns. How about AI fishermen? That is something that's been discussed.
Surprisingly, or unsurprisingly, there's a lot of work that would go into making an AI fisherman that actually walks around the lake and, you know, catches fish and... Oh, what did I just catch? Oh, I thought it was bigger than that. £4. It's not too shabby.
How many black pro anglers might still like to do it in their free time when they don't want to go out on the lake? If you enjoy fishing, then why not have the option to do both? Anyone should be able to enjoy how they want to spend their free time, how they like.
Right, guys. I think that's got to be us for the day done.
Is it time to say goodbye?
It's time to say goodbye. So, thanks for coming in and checking us out as ever. I know you was here for us, not for the fish. A knife in multiplayer so you can cut your mate's line. But, yeah, sorry. So, anyway, yes. and we'll inevitably catch you next month. I'm not sure who's picking up the stream next week. Do you know? Not sure. We've got a little rota, but yeah, I'm sure someone will be on, giving you an update on. Yeah.
I think it might be. Just trying to think of the rota. Yeah.
I can't remember either. But yeah, either way, glad you came and checked it out,
Yeah,
and
we appreciate the company and the questions.
looking forward to seeing you next time. Have a good one, guys. Take it easy.
Bye.
Catapulting boys at your mates, don't worry, you'll be there one day. See you guys.